So one of the things that I've learned over the years after putting out 120 million ads on Amazon and driving that traffic to my sales pages, to my 200 plus books that are on the market, it's that optimization is incredibly important. And this is one of the reasons I meet with people for completely free during a discovery session to discuss exactly how we can optimize your books with no commitment to buy or do anything after that. If that sounds like something you would like to learn more about, go and check below in the description and book an absolutely free discovery session with me, and we will sit down and look at your book. So here's the thing. Gary was one of my clients a while back. He was working in my one-on-one program. He's currently not with me, but he was at the time. And what happened was he was putting superhero books onto the market, and he was wanting to get recognized as an author for not his books, but his book. That was the thing with this one here. It was that he had the idea that he didn't have like a lot of ideas, but he was thinking, if I can just put this one book on the market, then I will be known for that specific book, and then there will be no need to put out any additional books. But the problem is that self-publishing does not work like this when it comes to the whole idea of one and done, like Gary was hoping. He was thinking a single book on the market. It was similar to somebody else who had also mentioned the idea that they said, once I put my book, one book, onto the market, how am I going to handle all the emails and press people who want to get in touch with me regarding this particular book? And I said, that is not going to be your problem. So what exactly is the key to starting self-publishing like this? What should you be doing? Well, I can tell you, number one, you should focus on one book at a time. We are not looking at focusing on all of our books. That will completely burn you out very, very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're looking at one book at a time. We're looking at the individual steps to getting this book onto the market and getting that book selling. And then the final thing is, with the next book, we're looking at optimizing and learning from our first book and optimizing as we go to our next book. Now, with many of my clients I sit down with and we discuss exactly their books, so we're able to speed this optimization part up because we're able to stop them from making a lot of the common mistakes. What is so common is that many authors, when they go on, put their books onto the market, they make the same mistake over and over and over again. And then at the end, you've got a pile of books and they're not selling any copies. And you're thinking, what did I do wrong? And the answer is you're not optimizing and you're not learning from the previous mistakes. And you need somebody who's had enough books on the market, somebody who can see what the signs are that could show you what is the problem with your book. And that is something that I would say of all the services, that's the thing that people most appreciate, is the fact that we do a deep dive looking exactly at what is wrong with the book that's causing it not to sell so that we can optimize it and then put the next book out. And that was the other thing. It's that once we start the next book, we're simply going to learn what we learned on the first book. And that's the second point. It's this idea of a loop. So it's a feedback loop, which is you complete an entire process as best as you can. And one key rule is we do not go backwards. We don't demotivate ourselves by doing these sorts of things. We go forwards, and as we're going through the loop and we're learning what exactly it is that we made mistakes on the first time, we're listening closely, looking at the sales, looking at the cover, all of these things. And then with the second book, we're simply going to go the next layer deep. And the thing is, with the keys and the steps when it comes to self-publishing, there are many layers. It is an ocean. It goes down, 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 down. Each of the steps, the psychology of covers and what it is that makes a cover successful, that makes it in the brain, the psychological side of things, figuring out what do I need to do in order to get my book to sell. What kind of cover am I missing on my book that's going to really help drive that traffic so that we're going to be able to see the sales that we want to see on our book, but we don't hit it all at once. And that's one of the whole points with self-publishing made easy. If you want to do it the easy way is one step at a time, learn from the mistakes that you're making and implement them on the next book. And I can tell you how many clients I have. It's so many, I can't tell you because there's so many clients I have where they're like, oh, I don't want to go back and change the cover. I don't want to change the content. And I say, that's just fine. Don't do anything that's going to demotivate you. We want to keep moving forward. So we learn from what we've done. We're moving forward. We get information from each and everything we do. But are we going to just repeat the same mistakes? Well, how would you even know? How would you not repeat unless you knew you even made a mistake? So many authors are making mistakes and they can't even see what the problems are. And so this is a really big one. It's learning or having somebody, if it's not me, then somebody who's also got 200 plus books and has been running 120 million ads to their books, who can say, look, I can recognize what's going on with your books, and they can tell you what you can do to improve the sales on your books. Don't just hope you're going to figure it out, because in reality, a lot of the methods that work, the strategy and the tactics that I teach here, and that I go the next layer down with all of my clients and students, it's that you get, when you're working through these things, we learn to optimize the book, we start to see the sales go up, and then we implement Jedi mind trick pricing strategies, things that you would never guess that work, but they do. And then we go do another loop on it. You see it, and then the next book, and then you have the previous books that came out, and you're starting to make money. We're getting traction on each and every book that's coming onto the market. But let's get to the secret answer of the day. The most important thing, and this is a huge mistake that so many brand new authors or self-publishers make, is that they are not pacing themselves. Some people I meet, there's two mistakes you can make. One mistake is you say, I'm going to sit around and wait until I have inspiration. And one author, I think it was Pressfield, if I remember correctly, in The Art of War, the question was, when do you wait until you feel inspiration? He says, yes, I have inspiration every single morning at 9 o'clock when I'm pumping out 1,000 words for my next book. Can you see the thing? In other words, he's going to sit in his chair and he's going to write those words whether he feels like it or not. But he's got a motivation, you see. He's not just waiting for some inspiration or win all this extra time or money or these sorts of things before we start to invest in ourselves, in improving ourselves, which is necessary to get ourselves to the point where we're able to really follow through on getting these tasks done. But the other mistake there, it's the pacing, where if you go too fast, if we're going too fast, and I've seen this too in some of my clients, I'm going to hit 20 books at a time, and I don't know about optimization or any of this stuff. I'm setting a goal for next month. I've got to get all 20 books out. What you're going to do is you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to lose that motivation because you're going to say, oh, I failed. I only got 4 books out. And it's just like, do not do that to yourself. Focus on 1 book at a time. Don't go backwards in time. Figure out what is a reasonable amount of energy and effort, time, and progress that you can make on a daily basis. Do not try to set big, hard, fast deadlines for your books. Rather, decide how much time you're going to use every day, and use a checklist, a task management system. The one that I specifically use and I recommend for all of my clients, it is the program Todoist. I am an affiliate for Todoist. You can find the link below, but it is an amazing piece of software. Everyone in my family uses this software. It helps us keep track of exactly which steps have to happen in which order for all of the things that matter. If you do not have a task management system at this moment, you're making a huge mistake. So you're definitely going to want to check out Todoist and let me know how it works for you. It is a crazy cheap program and does miracles when it comes to actually making progress. You can always let me know how exactly that works for you as well, and I can tell you how to set that thing up, because once you get that going with your self-publishing, you're going to find you can't live without it. You'll actually do it for your personal life as well. It won't just be your self-publishing business. So that's a very important thing to always keep in mind. Now, my question for you today is, what mistakes have you made on your self-publishing journey? We were talking about some of these ones. Did you find yourself as the pacing thing? Was that the problem? Or maybe your problem is you're going too slowly. You're waiting for inspiration before you start putting books out. Or the mistake like Gary, which was put out 1 book and think that's going to be enough as opposed to going for multiple books. Let me know below in the comments, because it's very important for me to figure out where exactly you're coming from. And check up above me here. I'll see you in the video over here. Thanks.